current situation in the 6 counties. Gary Donnelly, who was a frequent guest here on Radio Free Eireann, describing what the conditions were like in Derry, well, made a fatal mistake of crossing the border into the 26 counties, where he was arrested by the Free State government and is now being charged as a member of an illegal organization and is being held in Portlaoise prison. We now go to his wife in Derry, Orla Brady, and she had a raid on her house just recently. And Orla, are you there?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Orla, what happened at your house just recently? We thought this was the new Ireland, the peace process. We're supposed to join the police force. We didn't realize it was to join the police force so we can raid your house.
Well, last Sunday at 8 o'clock, a heavily armed PSNI or UC unit from Armagh, Gough Barracks, called MIT, had raided the house. Now, my house is empty at the moment because it's due to be renovated. So they went in looking for, they claimed clothes belonging to Gary. Now, 6 weeks earlier, Gary, as you've said at the start of this, before I start talking, Gary was arrested in Donegal and charged under the draconian legislation, membership of an illegal organisation, the 26 county government. They went in. When I went up to the house, they were hammering and sawing, and in an empty house, which is completely unheard of. Which the housing executive the next day was going in to start the work in the house, and which I believe, and many people believe, was to remove electronic spying equipment that was placed there by the British government.
All right.
Go ahead.
You say these members of the RUC, as we still think of them, came from Gough Barracks in Armagh. Where is your house located?
My house is located in Derry.
So that's a little ways from...
It's about an hour and 20 minutes away.
So they didn't trust the ordinary cop on the beat to come raid your house. They sent a special unit from an hour away.
Yeah, it's called MIT 8 from Gough Barracks.
You must be very important.
It must have been very important for them to come and raid an empty house.
Yeah, Orla, it has to be scary to think, talking to Gary. Gary was a very high-profile Republican in Derry, writing letters to the paper, doing radio interviews, and now in jail. To know that they went in there and were retrieving the spying equipment that they had planted in your house, that it could have been in your bedroom, anywhere, that you couldn't even have a private conversation with your partner, Gary, without the RUC listening in, whether it was on the phone, and now we know that they were going through the walls to take the equipment out before the renovation was done.
Yeah, well, I believe that they went in before the renovations was to be done, so so that the workmen, with the work been done, because they actually ripped the house apart, and it's getting renovated, that it wouldn't be recovered by the workmen, and that they don't want people knowing that they have, that they're still spying on Republicans.
But Orla, what's it like to know that you had absolutely no privacy, that anything you said to your husband, your partner, was being recorded, that they were spying on you probably 24 hours a day?
They're spying. It's an invasion of privacy, not only on me and Gary, but on the children too as well. And it's disgusting, that Sinn Féin still support, the PSNI and their attempts to spy on the Republican community. It's frightening too as well.
And
what I mean?
But don't you feel violated that people were spying on you all the time, 24 hours a day? You had no privacy whatsoever?
Of course I feel violated. I'm very shaken up by the experience. I am 6 months pregnant, and they knew that I wasn't even in the house. They knew that it was due for renovations, and the RUC man had said that to me, but he wasn't even interested in my new home, or where I was living. It was just a cover to say that they were going in to retrieve Gary's clothes. It was just to get their spying equipment do.
Well, we just talked about the horrific conditions that Paul Brennan's living under in a prison down in Texas. Maybe explain, what are the conditions like for you to get down to Portlaoise? How long does it take, and what's the visit like now with Gary?
Well, it takes me from Derry to go to Portlaoise. It takes 6.5 hours one way to go down to see him, and I'll be waiting for a half an hour before I go in, and I have to show photographic ID. If I don't show that, I won't be allowed to get in. I will wait in a half an hour, and I'll go in and I'll see Gary for an hour, and I'll only spend time with him for an hour, and then I have a 6.5 hour journey home.
And is that what they call an open visit, where you actually get to see him face to face and touch him?
Yeah, well, I get to see him face to face, and I get to touch him, and my brother is down there also too on a membership charge as well. So when I'm down seeing Gary, I'm seeing my brother also.
And how's he doing?
He's doing all right. So he is he's more concerned. He's very concerned about me being pregnant, and the stress that I've been put under, and with the travelling up and down, and obviously the children and that there. But he's in good spirits. Counting what's after happening. I mean, they only went into Donegal, to get petrol in a car, and then they were lifted on a membership charge. The main him and 3 other dairymen. The fella that was driving the car, he's actually a taxi man. So most people from Derry go across the border to get petrol because of the sterling and the euro difference.
Orla, how many children do you have?
I have 2 children, and I have one on the way.
And what's the impact? What's the impact of all this on your children?
Sorry?
What's the impact of all this, of Gary being locked up, on your children?
Well, Gary has 2 children also from a previous relationship, and it's affected the whole family unit. And it's upsetting on them all. Gary has a daughter who's 15, and he also has a daughter who is nearly 7, and I have 2 children who are under 8 too as well, and we've lived as a family unit, too, and it's just wrecked, our family and our family unit, and especially with a new baby on the way. It's supposed to be something, that we didn't think it was going to happen, but you know what I mean? It's to be honest, I'm devastated. They've wrecked the family. They've wrecked the family,
Well, Orla, we just next time you're visiting Gary, tell him that we're thinking about him here and trying to do the radio show and trying to get some publicity for his case and the plight with you living up there in Derry and the harassment that you're getting.
I haven't just see what Mike we've been along with Gary over the past couple of years. The RUC have beaten me up twice, and I've been arrested on assault charges too as well. And my two cases have went to court, and they've been thrown out by the British judges. So I've been receiving harassment, at the hands of the RUC too as well.
Yeah.
It's if you're a Republican or your partner is a Republican, they're very hard. They're coming down on people that, it's hard.
That's great. Bertie Ahern was in our country and saying this is the first time this century he can tell Congress that he's speaking to you as the peace in Ireland for the first time this century.
Well,
maybe for him.
That's Bertie Ahern. I mean, even today in the Irish news, there's a little bit on there's Republican graffiti on the walls of Derry. The internment, what's happened, to Gary and the 3 other boys, and it says here that the PSNI or RUC are now saying that graffiti is an offence and it's a criminal damage, and that anyone being caught or arrested will have a maximum sentence of 10 years imprisonment. You know, so now they're even trying to, you know, arrest people for writing on the walls of, you know, of the truth of what's going on. You know, it's shocking. Like, you know what I mean? And all these politicians want to give out, you know, that everything is okay, and you know, there's nothing happening. There's no, you know, they're just giving out false pretenses.
Well, Orla, thank you for coming on, and we'll keep getting updates from you about Gary's plight in the weeks and months to come.
Okay, that's great.
And you're listening.
I'll tell him.
Yeah, tell him that we're asking for him.
I will indeed. I'll do that.
All right.